I think that we need to really distinguish that point from the point of we can't only be on the outside of these systems that we need to change. It also requires that we go inside.
Senator Harris, when you talk about the future and what can be, I think of the fact that so many people are still asking questions about your record as a former prosecutor. And for some reason, no matter what your answers have been, some folks are not satisfied. What do you say to them? Do you understand their genuine concern? And can you explain how you will fight to protect Black people from police brutality and mass incarceration?
Well, yes, and let's start with the first point that you're raising. I understand why people are distrustful of a system that historically has been unjust and unfair to them. I get that. That's why I chose to become a prosecutor. Because I decided, and you know, it's obvious, I also decided to go up the rough side of the mountain. I decided that this system is so clearly, it was not even I decided, I was born knowing and experiencing how unjust it could be, and in particular on issues of race. And I decided to go inside the system, in addition to all the folks, including, you know, friends and relatives who were on the outside of the system, to do what I could to change it. And so people, though, are, you know, there are some who just say, well, but you were a prosecutor, period. And the inference there, or the assumption there, is I was part of the system that harmed the community from which I come. And I think that we need to really distinguish that point from the point of we can't only be on the outside of these systems that we need to change. It also requires that we go inside. And I'm proud of the work that we were accomplishing, which was about one of the first in the nation reentry initiatives, focusing on young men, mostly Black and Latino, who had been arrested for drugs and getting them jobs. When I created that program, you know what people said to me? She's creating all these programs. I'm going to tell you this term that was commonly used to refer to my program: hug a thug program. They would say to me, what are you doing? You're supposed to be putting people in jail, not letting them out. Because remember, this was long before the beauty and the power of Black Lives Matter, where, you know, and I give full credit to what has happened with and because of Black Lives Matter, which is, it has been a counterforce to the very deep-rooted force of the status quo within the system that is reluctant to change, if not hostile to change. But back then, those of us who went inside the system were kind of, you know, going it on our own to try and do these things. But we did those things. We created Back on Track, which was a model there. Most of the progressive DAs who now serve in office will tell you that what I did those years was a model for them of what could be done by a prosecutor. But here's the other piece that you must know. My career as a prosecutor, for the most part, was focused on women and children and protecting them. I'm never going to apologize for that. I specialized for a long time in child sexual assault cases, some of the worst human behavior that you've ever seen. And my whole reason for being was to protect those children and to give them voice and to give them dignity in the system. But let's talk about what we need to do to reform the system. The work that I have done has been about being a leader in the United States Senate on the need for reform of our criminal justice system around issues like getting rid of the money bail system. I've been a leader on that. Together with Cory Booker, I have been a leader on what we need to do around police accountability and reform. I have been a leader on what we need to do around the mandatory minimums in terms of sentencing. And you look at the Biden-Harris plan, and it is a plan about saying that there need to be pattern and practice investigations, that there needs to be an ability for attorneys general to take on those cases, as well as the United States Department of Justice, that we need to ban chokeholds and carotid holds. George Floyd would be alive today if that were the case. So this is the work we need to do going forward. And I think that if you look at my background, you will know I'm probably best equipped to be a leader and a national leader in this administration on what we need to do to reform the system. I think that we need to.
All right, hug a thug. Is that what she said?
Yes, she did.
All right, guys, listen, this is definitely going to be a healthy conversation. I've been kind of sitting on this for a few days because I just needed to wrap my head around what the conversation was going to be, how to get the conversation out, and how it can be productive, obviously, because this is what we have before us. So, where do we start? I mean, there's so much. Do we start from the past? First of all, let me introduce Sky. And Sky, you are in California, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so you have pretty much like, I don't want to say insight, but I mean, you have been around to experience and almost see firsthand some of Senator Harris, VP nominee, some of her handiwork and some of the things she's done, whether good, bad, or indifferent.
Yeah, I guess you can. I guess you can say that.
Hold on, we have some.
Hold on one second. I'm trying to. I'm moving my screen over that way I won't be.
Okay, so I'm gonna hold on. It says, Ida says,
all right, can you hear me?
Yeah, Ida says, what do we do as Black people? What do we as Black people have to lose if we go with Biden-Harris ticket? Trump has been a disaster to this country, and right now I'm willing to vote for Boo Boo the Fool or anybody besides Trump. I am truly disgusted by Trump. Now, Ida, you had some very choice words to say the other day, and I know you and Sky were kind of going back and forth on Facebook. But you know, if you want to join the panel, you're more than welcome. Ida, you can just type "add me" and we'll get the link to you for you to join the panel. But I mean, I get it. I mean, at this point, this is where we're at. So at this point, we just need to forgive what we don't like, what we don't care for. What's your perspective on this, guy? Because you almost kind of see it head on, like.
Well, let me start off by saying this. I have nothing against her gender, being female, being a leader, being a respectable leader in the Senate. I have no questions that she is indeed Black. And so when people, put all these things out there, I've never questioned her ethnicity. I've never questioned her gender, nothing. My view simply comes based on one, personal experience, and two, policy experience that I've seen her bring down through the channels as one, a district attorney, and one as an attorney general. I think it's very notable to say that, yes, she is a career prosecutor. And they decide whether they want to be a prosecuting attorney or they want to represent defendants. And I think Joe Biden was a public defender. She's been a prosecutor. So, her entire demeanor when I met her, because I have met her a few times at the Democratic convention, it's just been like that. I felt like I was standing in a hallway. Well, I was standing in a hallway, but I felt like I was talking in a courtroom. Like, it was just like, damn, like, can I not be vilified? Can you not try to point out the inaccuracies or anything that I'm doing or have done? Like let's just have a conversation. And even from the political side, from different fundraisers and things like that, when politicians do fundraisers, the only thing that they really care about are the people that are giving them money. How much are they going to give? How much are they going to donate to a campaign? And most of them are very grateful that you took the time to give a fundraiser for them because you're helping out their campaign. Mm-hmm. But with working with people that have done fundraisers for her, it's like, she wants to know who's going to be there. She wants to know their background. Have they ever been arrested? And it's like, come on. Like, everything is not.
But why do you think why do you think that is? Is that because she's like covering her back?
Well, I think that she, personally, I think that she spent her entire career trying to be the president. She's always wanted to be the president. So she's done everything possible to make her way to DC. And I think it's very notable to say that she dropped out of the race for president because she wasn't getting enough support and enough money. But I question if she even would have won California. because people here know her history. They
Mm.
know what she's about. And I'm not, and she she's probably a damn good, prosecuting attorney, but is that what we need right now at this time? And that's what I question. It's no doubt in my mind that I'm going to be voting for the Democratic ticket this round. But to make myself feel a little bit better, I'm going to check off that box and cross out her name because I refuse to.
Oh my God.
I'm petty like that. But
Let me take a sip. See, this is going to be a long night.
I refuse to give her my vote.
I chose the plastic cup tonight because I felt like I want to get ratchet talking about politics.
And this is another aspect that I was thinking about. That, say for instance, this ticket does win. She becomes vice president. 4 years from now, Biden decides he's not going to run for re-election and she's going to run for president. I will not be supporting at all. Period.
Well, let's be honest. Okay, Biden will be 78 this year in November. And so even if he did want to run for a second term, by the time we get to the second term, he'll be 82?
It doesn't matter.
I mean, I'm not wishing anything on him, but I'm just saying that, hold on, we got someone on that wants to join. Hold on, let me get Dwayne on. What's going on, good brother? Welcome.
What up, Kyle? How you been, bro?
I'm good. We're just sitting here having a conversation about Kamala and just talking about the past and how we move forward, and you know what it is. And we have my brother.
I do. What's his name?
Sky.
Hey, Sky. I'm Dwayne, and then I have Danielle in the car too. She's a very intelligent woman, but she it's in the car, so the phone just pointed to me. But she in the car, she listening. She'll probably chime in.
Okay. So. Go ahead, Sky.
And so what I was saying is that she's been in the Senate 3 years, which is great. Yeah. But I guarantee if you poll any of the elected officials that are probably not looking to make a move, they would be saying that they're happy that she's just one vote in the Senate and not a signature in California.
Okay.
And to say that because she was a prosecutor, she could not direct change or change the way that the criminal justice system treated Black and brown people in California is a lie, because we have an attorney general now that is changing laws to release people that are nonviolent from prison and put them in rehabilitative homes. So she had that same opportunity, but she chose to use her time in that office to run for president.
So where she had the opportunity to enact real change towards prison reform, she did not. And, there's all these claims that she wholeheartedly supports prison labor. So, is that part of the reason too why
No,
she's not?
No. And so I have a very good friend. He's an iota from Northern California. And he worked both of Barack Obama's campaigns. He was working Hillary's campaign last year. He's like a career Democratic Party organizer with the Organizing for Obama folks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when I asked him, I said, hey, man, you've been real quiet, since they announced who the VP nominee was. He said, tell you the truth, I'm just trying to absorb what just happened. He said, because I had my reservations about Biden when Obama was running because of the crime bill. He said, but now they want me to also vote for somebody that did nothing when my cousin was killed in the Bay Area. So how does the party move someone like him to vote for this ticket?
Well, I tell you what, Scott, So when it comes to her being a prosecutor, right, and then the attorney general and whatever she did, she gets hundreds of cases. So I'm not going to defend her because I was not there. I don't live in California, and I understand because my cousin is a prosecutor in Newark, New Jersey. I understand they get shit on their desk every single day, and unfortunately, the way the system is set up, they lock up a lot of Black people. Unfortunately, there ain't a prosecutor in this country that hasn't locked up a lot of black people. Not intentionally, just because that's the way the system is set up. By the time it hit the prosecutor, the cops have already lied and done what they had to do. The witnesses have already lied. By the time the case hits the prosecutor, they have to go back through so much bullshit that most of the time they take it as what it is. Unfortunately.
So,
but she should now, if they went to her, I guess, in that state, I don't know if you can do this, if they went to her after the fact and tried to hash it out and she did nothing, then I could see where their point of view would come from.
Well, what do you say to the fact that she had deputies in her office that were found guilty of prosecutorial misconduct, and she allowed them to keep working there?
She should have definitely done something about that.
And so, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not knocking her being a career prosecutor. That's great because we need people on both sides of the aisle. I'm just trying to figure out, how do you unify the party 80-some days before the election? Because if you've been noticing, since they announced who the VP nominee was, they have took out the big dog to defend her record versus defending the presidential nominee. So that should tell you something. People were kind of sold on Biden, but a lot of people are like, oh, now you got Harris? Oh, hell no. But then, so now people, I think a lot of people that I speak with, they're weighing her out. They're like, okay, well, can I really stomach another 4 years of Trump? Because it's that
right. Well, let me give you another example. You know what it tells me when they start jumping out there trying to discredit some person aggressively as they are?
No, I'm saying
that means that they're scared.
No, I'm talking about
right, but I see a lot of people coming at her, and I see people defending her at the same time, right? So I see both. I see a bunch of motherfuckers, even Democrats, even of women and black people in general, like they coming at her like, you did this, you did that, you did this, and rightfully so. She's a public figure, so she is open to that type of scrutiny. Now, the thing is, she was vetted when she was running for president.
Oh yeah.
So it's not like she hasn't been through this process, because if anything was going to come the fuck out, it would have came out the minute she decided to run for president.
Well, I think the thing with this is that so far, when everyone was in the running for the presidential debate, I feel like everyone addressed the issues head on. Even Biden, all the accusations about girls and touching people and things like that, he touched on that. He even touched on, you know, the civil issues in California with the buses and, you know, civil rights issues. So my thing is, I feel like Kamala is not really addressing. It's like, okay, because the thing is, everyone always says, well, that's her job. She's supposed to prosecute people. And I get that. But that doesn't mean be reckless. You know, when you are presented with evidence that shows that there are people who are innocent or wrongfully convicted, and you just completely turn a blind eye to that, to me, that says a lot about integrity. And, you know, that says a lot. So we wouldn't even be questioning.
Hey, but listen.
Go ahead.
Hey, Cal, here's the thing. You know the fucked up position that we in right now? Here's the fucked up position that we in right now. We got what we got now because of this political system. We got her and we got them. Unfortunately, those are our choices. I don't like it. I don't, you know, the shit she's done. And it's fucked up. But the alternative being, some people ain't going to turn. Some people you're not going to turn because that's just how they are, unfortunately. But I don't really think there's a way to come around what they feel about her past being done. The only thing they can have to decide is, are you cool with what's going on now? And if not, then you got to vote for her. Unfortunately.
And just touch on what he said, and that's why I said a lot of people that I am having discussions with about this, they're like, okay, we get it, we need a change, but can we just stomach 4 more years to see if we get somebody better to vote for? And that's the discussion at this point. And then I was like, shit, has the party ever decided to switch who their nominees will be in the middle of the process? Because like, I know they were thinking, because they vetted Kamala, but I think they vetted Kamala with white people. Because if they definitely vetted her with black people, the discussions that are happening now would not be happening.
Well, this is the thing. I don't think it's a thing about. How do I say this? So I just want to piggyback on what Dwayne said, like what we're dealing with right now. And so it's right now that can lead us to issues later on. So if a person lacks integrity now, this person at some point could be commander in chief. We have someone in office right now when they don't like things, they sign executive orders into stuff. So,
Yeah, I think
again, it's about integrity. I feel like it's always about integrity.
And realizing we are dealing with somebody that knows how to hide bodies. So,
and let's be clear, we're in this predicament with Trump because America decided they didn't want any more politicians.
Right.
They didn't want a politician.
Right.
That's why we're here.
Right.
They said, well, what do we have to lose? Let's try something else. He's a businessman, although his businesses have failed. He has more bankruptcies and more failures than he does wins, but it looks good on paper.
And to be quite honest, when you talk to people in minority neighborhoods like I'm in, they're like, well, shit, he keep giving us money. Shit. It's just like, we ain't no more broker or any more richer since he's been in office. We ain't tripping.
Well, you know what's funny about that? So I said the same thing about every fucking president. I grew up on fucking Chesapeake Street in Southeast Washington, D.C. It looked the same when I was little as it looked now, with the exception of a paint job and a few gates. So us coming up in, you can call it the hood, us coming up the hood don't change whoever the fuck sits in the office anyway. And to be clear, Trump actually lost the popular vote, so motherfuckers wasn't fucking with him anyway. He only won by the Electoral College, which that was only the third time in the history of elections that they put a dude in that lost the popular vote but won the Electoral College vote. But unfortunately, it sends the message to, because I think people should vote. I don't actually trust the whole process of voting, but I think you should vote because I think you can't criticize something you don't try and work against. But it gives an example of, let's just say Biden wins the popular vote. Let's just say that. Let's just say he wins, right? But the Electoral College puts Trump back in again. Then what? Then we're still dealing with the same shit.
And so, Dwayne, back to the vetting. Like I said, they vetted her with white people. These people are the Electoral College. They're worried about winning that, not the popular vote. Because if they were worried about what vetting her with the black and brown people, all of these conversations that are being had right now would have been had and hashed out a long time ago, and would be holding hands and singing "Kumbaya" all the way up to fucking election day.
Well,
but instead,
I'm sorry. Can I? Hi. I don't get what the big issue is with her though. Like, people keep talking about her record, but her record as a prosecutor, she did do a lot of things to help the black community in San Francisco. She, her truancy programs and her programs where she sent, instead of sending people to jail, she sent them to get degrees and jobs.
Not the truancy.
But the truancy program.
But the purpose was to get people to get their children into school so they would not get in trouble and get arrested by police officers.
So you agree with locking parents up because their children don't go to school?
No, I'm not saying I agree with locking parents up, but I agree with her intent. And so this is what happened. Her goal was to protect black and brown children from the police.
So this is what happened. Go ahead.
And because because of the scope of the program, I'm not saying that everything that she did was correct, but you can't say that her intention wasn't to help and to look out for the younger generation of black and brown people in her community. That was where her intention was in mostly everything she did. She was ahead of the curve in a lot of what she did. And you have to understand that she was one of the only black or brown women prosecutors in the nation. So she had a very difficult position that she was in. She's answered to a lot of people that don't look like her. And she also has a lot of constituents as well that don't look like her. So she has to play this balancing act that most people don't understand and most people will never have to understand. 90% of prosecutors are white and 80% were male.
Okay, and so I do not agree with introducing children to the criminal justice system while they're in K-12 education, period, because it starts a trend, and that's what she did.
I agree.
Yeah, that just perpetuates that. That just perpetuates that.
She made a program so that instead of going to prison, they could go get their GED and get a job.
And so let me tell you what we did down here in Southern California when I was in a position to help. We stopped counting children as truant because we didn't want them to go into the courtroom because of her policy.
How many did she actually lock up? Does anybody know that? If she actually ended up locking up any kids or any parent? I haven't checked. That's why I asked.
I know I wouldn't have those numbers, right?
I mean,
she was one of the first people that even tried to reform the criminal justice system so that less black and brown people would be affected by it. Nobody was even talking about doing that.
So
like she gets no credit for that.
And so I question. So when she was running for the Senate, California put a proposition on the ballot to release nonviolent offenders and give them half-time and give them work credits to get out of prison early. Why did she write the opposing arguments for that? She doesn't want to put people.
Well, you know, I think that shit. I think everybody who has these issues with her record and what she did definitely leads to come up with I don't know, maybe a list of concerns with her and have her address them for the people. Because here's the thing, she getting my vote anyway.
She introduced racial bias.
She's the vice president. I mean, and as far as I'm concerned, she got my vote anyway because I don't like everything else that's going on. And if it wasn't for her, nobody would have she's one of the ones that are providers of the $600 that we got extra with unemployment. So as far as I'm concerned, she got my vote. I am concerned with listening to what other people have to say about what it is she's done and haven't done and stuff like that. But she getting my vote anyway, so nobody can swing it.
So listen, we got to
I think no one understands really what it is to be a woman of color working around a whole bunch of men.
But I think that
it's a very, very challenging situation. No matter what especially as a woman in position of power.
Okay, can we? I want to make we got some order around here. So, sister, your comments are duly noted. But I just want to touch on. We got to be careful about when we say, can she address them? At this point, it's old now, because if we address it now, this is going to turn into the whole Hillary shit all over again with the emails and spit. Our community. Listen, we can get behind Kamala and support her. I'm voting for her. I mean, I just feel like who she was before is still who she is today. To me, the lack of integrity, to me, is sneakiness. And again, these are the qualities. We need to look deeper into the qualities of the person who's going to run the nation at some point. Because Joe Biden is only probably going to do one term, and then it probably will be Kamala for a second run if no one else is nominated for the Democratic ticket.
And I also want to say this has nothing to do with her being black, a woman in power, none of that. It's strictly based on policies and her record, not only as a prosecutor.
That's also influenced by who you're around and what you got to do to keep your job.
What she has to do to keep her job, she has to keep getting elected by the people.
Yeah, no, I don't agree with that. That doesn't mean do what you can at any expense. Yeah. Because again,
it's like a balancing act.
Right, like Barack.
It was a whole balancing act.
Like Barack. Right.
We are talking about people's lives. Let's be clear here. There were people who were wrongfully incarcerated, and she put them there. Now I get it; that's her job. But again, when she had information to clear people up. What was it? The governor that had to invoke something to be.
Yeah, the governor had to invoke his executive orders to do shit around here.
Yeah, like to me, what is that about?
And
I don't know. I know there was one person that said that she wasn't involved in his. One of the people that they were saying that he said she wasn't involved in his case. It wasn't.
There's one guy
it was their office. It was the office, but it wasn't. She had nothing to do with it.
There's one guy that's touting that they're raising up, saying that what? Because I don't know if y'all heard her. There's one guy that's saying that they're touting up as her being the one that kept him in jail. I don't know his name. He came out with a video saying it wasn't her.
Yeah. And so, and
I don't know that one because I didn't see it.
I saw the video. I saw both videos. They were talking about it when he was talking about his case, and he came back. I saw it. But there's the thing: when he says it's not her, it may not have been her personally. But understand when you're dealing with cases in a public defender's office or a prosecuting attorney's office, the prosecuting the attorney general gets the final say so. It goes up the chain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Period. And so she was
I don't know that life, so I don't know that life, so I don't know. I think they just going by a file that's on their desk.
Right.
And so when you look at court transcripts,
every prosecutor in your office's case, every single case.
I don't know. That ain't my lane. I don't know that one.
And so when you look at court transcripts, they're signed by the actual prosecuting attorney on behalf of the district attorney or on behalf of the attorney general. And so when those cases draw a certain amount of publicity, you can almost guarantee that phone calls from the community are going to be going directly to the district attorney's office or the attorney general's office to get their attention, and they respond back in most cases.
All right, so listen, we're gonna
you going in first. I feel you. I feel you.
Well, listen, we're gonna let the conversation. Dwayne, we'll have you come back.
And so
yeah. All right, brother. Hey, nice to see you, Kyle.
Yes,
Dwayne, my whole purpose is trying to see how we can unify the party here. How can we unify the party right now to be comfortable with voting for this ticket that we have to vote for? How do we put measures in place to hold this administration accountable if they do so win?
Yeah, I think, first of all, we need to get Timujin up here because he got a lot to say in these comments. Timujin, if you want to join, just type add me and I'll send you the link to get on the panel. All right, so let's just, and that's for anybody. If anybody wants to join the panel, just type add me and we'll get you on. All right, so yeah, we have to be very critical about that whole how we address things, because if she opens up that can of worms now, that'll be the only thing they latch on to the entire time, all the way up until November. We watched Hillary do it. I was so sick of hearing about the damn emails.
Right. But I don't know, maybe I'm just thinking about conspiracy theories or whatever, but I just been noticing, like, damn, everybody's coming out to defend her, like all these high-powered elected officials, celebrities, and it's like, you guys should have done this like the party was already ready to get hit with all this already. Like, they knew what to say. They had the videos already ready to go. Like, because they didn't do the proper vetting. They didn't fill this out with the I call them the rank and file of the community.
Right.
Like my grandmother, who had 2 children that was incarcerated. Like, she didn't talk to people like that. And I also want to say that as a black man, we have a higher chance of going in front of the system that she put together in California. And so does it play out fair for us too?
But you know what, Biden, that whole, what was it, the crime bill? That's a major point.
Yeah.
I just feel like when it comes to people of color, it's either money or crime.
Right.
It's either or, and so we just get it either. We just get it with no Vaseline every time. That's just, because this lesser of two evils thing is real.
Right.
It is so real. And so
how do we get past the trauma or past trauma? Get past it real quick in order to confidently go to those polls and vote for this ticket and support it. I think that's where I'm trying to figure out how to do that. And like I said at the beginning, one of the ways I'm thinking about doing it is going to vote for the ticket, but scratch out her name, like on my ballot, just because I don't want to. I don't want to vote for her, but I know I have to.
But oh my God, just don't do that. Don't. That's how we lost. Isn't that how we got Trump in here? Who was it? That was Bernie's people.
But crossing out her name, it's not going to do nothing because I'm voting for the ticket, right? But it just makes me feel better inside.
But does it still make it valid? You didn't deface the vote, like
yeah, it still makes it valid. You know.
That's if they. So, are you doing mail-in? Because I'm seeing all these articles where all these mailboxes are disappearing.
Well, I'm a permanent absentee voter, so I get my ballot regardless. I've always got my ballot in the mail. And I don't mail it in. I just drop it off at the poll. I just walk in and put it in the box.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because I was saying that I think like here in Jersey they automatically set it up for mail-in ballots, but I'm not mailing it in. I'm going to drop it off at the county elections board, or we're just going to go vote. We're just going to go around the corner to the church and vote.
Just take your ballot with you. Put in an envelope. They'll check you off and just put it in the box. That's what I do.
Listen, we got some comments up here. I understand that may be my concern, but I completely understand. Yeah, I just feel like Kamala's cool. I can get behind Kamala. Do I trust her? No. I don't trust her. I don't know what it is about. It's just something about these politicians I cannot get behind.
Well, it's not only that she's a politician, but she's a cop. And people of color do not like cops. Period.
Hold on, what did Dexter say? I don't think these worries that people have will come back. I don't think this stuff that we worry about is on their minds. Like they aren't. I can't wait to get empowered to bring back the crime bill and lock up people for weed. No, they don't. But you know what? This is an opportunity for her to really use her power as VP,
right,
to kind of correct some of the wrongs that she's done.
And so she probably won't get the message, but I sent her a message on Facebook in the little Facebook message box, and I said, I hope when you do get elected that you go back and look at some of those cases, if you have time, or send somebody back to look at those cases that you prosecuted as a prosecutor in California, and give those people that deserve it a pardon. Give them clemency. Because you know where they got stuck out in the process. Make what you did wrong, make it right. Because you have the opportunity to do that.
I'm trying to get one of my friends on here, Casey. He's like all into politics. I mean, he's been rooting for Kamala. I mean, he's been very vocal on my Facebook page about this. And so I'm trying to get some of these folks that always got something to say. Now it's time.
Where all these people that be? Where are all these people that be ransacking me when I comment on your page?
Yeah, Ida was in the comments. I'm like, Ida, come on board. You want to join?
I'm not afraid to show my face. Come on.
I'm worried that the same way Trump still can't handle the civil unrest, BLM protests, she will handle the exact same way. I don't believe that.
So
I don't believe that.
Let me tell you my first experience when I first met her. She was running for attorney general. Was she running? Yeah, she was running for. No, I think she was attorney general. She was running for it, and I was at the convention because I was a Democratic delegate, and I was there to cast my vote for governor and all the statewide offices and things. And all I remember was, and at the Democratic convention, the hallways are always packed because people are going like to meetings, people are going to like social hours and handing out business cards, people are networking. But when Kamala Harris got to the corner and walked down the hall, like it seemed like everybody just stopped and looked, and she had like Secret Service all around her. And I was just like, lady, like
like she's doing too much.
Yes. That's why I said she's always been running for president. And so when you're talking to her, and you got all these people with their headsets on and they talking and looking around, it's just like, ain't nobody trying to. But then, someone explained it to me that because she was attorney general, she defends and she fights cases in federal court. and so therefore she's always had Secret Service.
Okay.
But it's still like, even Barack Obama wasn't like that when I met him. He was like,
right.
Felt like you felt he was you felt like when you
a human being
said hi
personable,
or when he shook your hand, that he was genuinely just a nice person.
Yeah, I think that, and another reason too, you brought up about her Senate, with her only being in the Senate what, like 3 years.
Yeah.
I feel like that comes up because of her sordid past. Barack Obama wasn't in office. What was he in? He wasn't in there long before he got nominated.
Yeah, but think about Barack Obama had always been a member of a legislative body.
Right.
She's not.
Okay.
She's never been a vote. She's always been a signature.
Okay. Okay.
So, and remember, the role of the vice president is to push the president's agenda in the legislative body. So can she corral votes to move the agenda of the president? Has she been in the Senate that long or have those relationships to be able to do that?
So the real question is, could she be the minority or majority whip?
Right. No, not even a whip, but the leader. Could she be the Chuck Schumer? Was she in line to be that? Was she part of leadership in the Senate? No, she was not.
I don't see that.
She wasn't.
I just don't see that, period. I don't, and it's not to minimize her potential. I think that she's brilliant. I mean, I don't agree with everything she's done, but she's done some good stuff.
And so to be honest,
I just can't overlook the things that she overlooked.
To be honest, I was rooting for Karen Bass or Susan Rice. And I may be a little biased. That doesn't bother me. I don't need friends. I need you. Okay. So I was rooting for Karen Bass, and let me tell you why. You want to read the questions first?
Hold on. Listen, just pay attention to what's going on versus similar situations in history. We are at a turning point, a very dangerous turning point. If Trump is allowed another term, there's no coming back from that for generations.
Okay, so I think that we need to get past that narrative. Like, we need to stop thinking
but why?
It's either death or like we're just.
But do you support Trump or like what? Like,
no, I don't. I don't. But I don't use my dislike for his policies and what he's done as an excuse to vote for someone else. It's especially when the other side also has a checkered past that I just can't get over. And so that's why I said the conversation for me has changed with a lot of people that I talk to, because now we're like, okay, now Harris is a part of the mix. Can we stomach Trump for another 4 years? Let me just look at my.
I cannot.
Look, like literally, we be looking like, okay, let me look what I got planned this year. Am I going on vacation? Am I going to lose my job? Because I just want to know, do I have enough money, to move forward if Trump gets reelected? Because I really don't want her ass in office. And that's not saying that.
But is that because of the connection you have with it all?
Right. And that's for a lot of people realizing that it may not have affected me, but what about my cousin that was incarcerated? Or what about, my neighbor that was incarcerated? It's personal for a lot of people here.
Right.
But like I said, I'm willing to vote for this chicken. But to make myself feel a little bit better, I'm going to cross her name out.
Right. But see, that's the thing too. People can't, and I'm not in California, but she's done a lot in California, and so the real question is, could she win over California?
No. And let me put this out there. The only reason she won the Senate is because they was trying to get her out of the state capitol, and so everybody put their resources behind to get her out. You know how they'd be like, oh, when you at work, when your coworkers really don't like you, but they can't find nothing for them to fire you on, they give you a special project to do, right? That way you just stay out the mix.
Right.
That's what it was.
Well, I don't know nothing about that, but yeah, okay.
So if you think about it like that, but but like I said, I'm going to vote for the ticket. I hope they are successful in not only winning, but in changing what we've been through in the last 4 years.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Who wants to join the live? Because I know we got folks up in here. I see who's up on
Oh,
here.
that's what I was going to say. While I was supporting Karen Bass, and Karen Bass was a personal nominee for me also. When I worked in the legislature, she was a speaker. And so I've seen how she's been able to move legislation.
Mm-hmm.
Considering that in California, in order to pass a state budget at the time, you need a 2/3 majority of the vote, which is not only 50%, but it's like 50% plus, like 5 or 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what she did, because there was more there was more Democrats than Republicans,
Mm-hmm.
but it still wasn't a super majority that she needed to get a budget passed. And so she literally locked the members in the chambers and had highway patrol stand guard at the doors for 6 fucking days until they hashed out a deal. And I remember we had to make sure our members had toothbrushes. We had to make sure they had food. Like, she literally locked the doors. And everybody was pissed. I posted it up on my Facebook because it was all on the news, like everybody sleeping inside on the assembly floor. But she was not playing. Like, they came up with a deal after 6 days.
See, that's what people remember. That's the type of leadership, where people take their job serious, because obviously the budget is important.
Right. And not only that, because at the time the state didn't have a budget because the budget has to be in place by July 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're in September. The state still doesn't have a budget. Nobody's getting a paycheck.
Yeah, I was about to say, so what does that mean? No one's getting paid?
Medi-Cal has stopped. Medi-Cal is honoring vouchers.
Oh, okay.
Staff has not been paid. The legislators are being paid. So what she did, she cut off all their checks too. She said, y'all not getting paid either. And y'all go sleep in there. They slept inside the fucking chambers overnight, hashing out deals. And then the following year, before the law changed, she still needed a supermajority. And I remember the member I worked for, he decided to play hooky. Somehow he was able to escape out the Capitol. And he ended up at the Democratic convention to vote for Barack Obama for the nomination, right?
Mm-hmm.
So her chief of staff, and I'll never forget, her chief of staff was Jenny at the time. And Jenny called and she was like, Speaker Bass is looking for your member. We may have a crucial vote coming up this evening, and he's supposed to be here. She was like, well, is he in Los Angeles? I said, well, he hasn't, he ain't here because, he would have said, hey, can you have the car come pick me up from the airport?
Mm-hmm.
Yada, yada, yada. So she said, well, he's not answering the phone. I said, well, let me try calling him. So I said, hold on. I called him. He sent me the voicemail. So I said, well, he sent me the voicemail. I left him a message, said the speaker was looking for him, yada, yada, yada. So I kid you not, within that same hour, Karen Bass called. And she said, text your member and let him know I am sending highway patrol down to LA to arrest him and bring him back to the Capitol so we can vote. I was like, okay, I will send a text message.
Yeah, what do you say to that? Like, I mean, they're not playing with you.
But to me, that is leadership.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what people remember. That's what stands out. When it comes to you being the majority leader, minority leader, you need to get votes, you need to corral people. That's what people remember. And to me, I felt like, honestly, out of the short list that was provided, this was a lazy pick.
Yeah. And then
lazy pick. I can't understand. I'm like, out of all the names, like, how do we get here?
And then one of the other things that I like that she did,
publish the list. Hold on.
Once she did not arrest or lock people in the chambers, she moved their office out of the Capitol building. Like some of the Republicans that hate Planned Parenthood, she moved them into the Planned Parenthood building across the street from the Capitol. Just to piss them off and make their staff pack up their shit to get her vote.
Mm. So so we had Susan Rice, I guess Elizabeth Warren, Gretchen Whitmer.
I
don't know much about her, but I know she. Everybody's behind Kamala. They've all supported her. So
no, they didn't.
Well, I mean, on Twitter, everybody's like, "Oh, we love you." This is congratulations. Even Sarah Palin, they came out the woodworks.
So
Where
look,
she been?
So look, when you talk about being vetted to be VP, realizing that when you're being vetted, you're also campaigning for the seat too.
Right.
Do you think all that stuff about all these other nominees started coming out against him? Kamala was fighting for that damn seat.
Right. So you're saying she was what? Possibly orchestrating or architecting campaigns?
Look, she's a prosecutor. It's all about who tells the best story in court, right?
Let me put these disclaimers up because I don't want nobody. Listen, and you know what? Let me put the fair use one up too for the video and everything I use. Listen, I don't want no issues, okay?
But think about it. She did what she did as a prosecutor to claim this nomination.
Right.
I got an article, last week, talking about how Karen Bass spoke at the grand opening for the Church of Scientology in Los Angeles. Now, who was paying attention to that shit?
Right.
In 2008.
And that's supposed to be used as a smear tactic.
Right. And so she
supporting the Church of Scientology.
She had to come out and say, she spoke at grand open. The church opened up in her district, so she spoke at it. It was like, welcome you guys to the community.
Well, listen. Let's refresh the cocktail. I'm gonna play that video back over again, where Kamala talks about touching on her prosecutor experience and the things that she's done. That's at least a 4-minute video. So grab a snack and come on back. So hold on. We'll be right back. Let's see.
I think that we need to really distinguish that point from the point of we can't only be on the outside of these systems that we need to change. It also requires that we go inside.
Senator Harris, when you talk about the future and what can be, I think of the fact that so many people are still asking questions about your record as a former prosecutor. And for some reason, no matter what your answers have been, some folks are not satisfied. What do you say to them? Do you understand their genuine concern? And can you explain how you will fight to protect Black people from police brutality and mass incarceration?
Well, yes, and let's start with the first point that you're raising. I understand why people are distrustful of a system that historically has been unjust and unfair to them. I get that. That's why I chose to become a prosecutor. Because I decided, and it's obvious, I also decided to go up the rough side of the mountain. I decided that this system is so clearly, it was not even I decided, I was born knowing and experiencing how unjust it could be, and in particular on issues of race. And I decided to go inside the system, in addition to all the folks, including, friends and relatives who were on the outside of the system, to do what I could to change it. And so people, though, are, there are some who just say, well, but you were a prosecutor, period. And the inference there, or the assumption there, is I was part of the system that harmed the community from which I come. And I think that we need to really distinguish that point from the point of we can't only be on the outside of these systems that we need to change. It also requires that we go inside. And I'm proud of the work that we were accomplishing, which was about one of the first in the nation reentry initiatives, focusing on young men, mostly Black and Latino, who had been arrested for drugs and getting them jobs. When I created that program, you know what people said to me? She's creating all these programs. I'm going to tell you this term that was commonly used to refer to my program: hug a thug program. They would say to me, what are you doing? You're supposed to be putting people in jail, not letting them out. Because remember, this was long before the beauty and the power of Black Lives Matter. where, you know, and I give full credit to what has happened with and because of Black Lives Matter, which is it has been a counterforce to the very deep-rooted force of the status quo within the system that is reluctant to change, if not hostile to change. But back then, those of us who went inside the system were kind of, you know, going it on our own to try and do these things. But we did those things. We created Back on Track, which was a model there. Most of the progressive DAs who now serve in office will tell you that what I did those years was a model for them of what could be done by a prosecutor. But here's the other piece that you must know. My career as a prosecutor for the most part was focused on women and children and protecting them. I'm never going to apologize for that. I specialized for a long time in child sexual assault cases, some of the worst human behavior that you've ever seen. And my whole reason for being was to protect those children and to give them voice and to give them dignity in the system. But let's talk about what we need to do to reform the system. The work that I have done has been about being a leader in the United States Senate on the need for reform of our criminal justice system around issues like getting rid of the money bail system. I've been a leader on that. Together with Cory Booker, I have been a leader on what we need to do around police accountability and reform. I have been a leader on what we need to do around the mandatory minimums in terms of sentencing. And you look at the Biden-Harris plan, and it is a plan about saying that there need to be pattern and practice investigations, that there needs to be an ability for attorneys general to take on those cases, as well as the United States Department of Justice, that we need to ban chokeholds and carotid holds. George Floyd would be alive today if that were the case. So this is the work we need to do going forward. And I think that if you look at my background, you will know I'm probably best equipped to be a leader and a national leader in this administration on what we need to do to reform the system. I think that.
And we're back. So, are we buying it? She's there for women and children. Hug a thug. That hug a thug takes me out of here. I figured that out. You know, and I just feel like even with like Cory Booker, like sometimes they just try so hard to be down. Like, is there such thing as trying to pander within your own community?
Yeah.
Like, I saw it with Hillary, and I was like, okay, this is too much. Like, you know, the hot sauce in her bag. And I'm not saying things are not, you can't have these things or do these things. I just think that it's a bit much. It's overkill to be likable.
So this is what I tell people. They're probably, oh, you know how they was like, oh, you know, she's your cool aunt. I'm like, she definitely is your cool aunt. She's a cool aunt that you smoke some weed with, but at the same time, she's that aunt. She may get high with you, but once you get like high, she packs your car out full of cocaine and then call the cops on you and make you drive away. Like that's her.
You know what? No, I can.
She's a cool aunt. And so yeah, it's just. I'm sorry, I was sharing it on my page. I thought I had shared it.
Okay.
Everybody saying that me crossing out the name was petty, but
yes.
But if that's what makes it comfortable for me to do it, that's what I'm going to do.
She's very beige. Then you want to come up on here? This is what I'm talking about. Like on Facebook, I post listen, I'll post things and I have a zillion and one people. They got all this mouth talking all this rah-rah.
Wait, and attacking me.
Well, you know, listen,
where's the PhD guy at? Where's the PhD friend at?
Oh no.
The one that was saying that Harriet Tubman would have shot me back in the day. Like,
oh no. Listen. We allow, so this platform over here is about letting people express themselves and express all views. So whether I agree, disagree, whatever, as long as it's not disrespectful, it's all good.
Right.
You know, and so, you know, listen, I think what it is that your dislike for Kamala can be
It's personal.
Can be seen as
being personal.
Like for Trump.
Yeah, and it's not. I definitely do not like having Trump in office. But like I said, at the same time, because it's personal for me and personal for a lot of people that I talk to, because we've had our experience inside of a courtroom.
Right.
And so to make me feel more comfortable, I'm going to vote for the ticket, but I'm going to spread your name out, because I'm not voting for her. I'm voting for Biden.
Okay. And that's a good, that's a good way to look at it.
Right. But visually,
I'm hoping that she's not going to get in office and start finding ways to
kill him,
either undermine or manipulate his just anything he's doing, because he's hungry.
So once they announced who the vice presidential nominee was, the only thing I thought about was Scandal. Who was the president when Scandal first came on?
Wait, what?
The show Scandal. Who was the president when it first came on? It was a male president, right?
Yeah.
Then the woman took over because the male. What happened to him?
Okay. Yeah. Fitzgerald.
Right.
Fitzgerald Grant.
That was the first thing I thought about. I was like, oh crap.
Yeah, I just feel like that's not going to look good on her. But see, this is what I'm talking about: messy integrity. Like, I can see her trying to do these things, but again, the VP position is really low key.
Yeah,
I don't know if she's going to be comfortable with that.
She's not. She's not. She's not. That's why I said she's going to spend her entire time trying to be the president, speaking engagements, the whole everything.
But in her beigeness, I feel she makes her point and proves she was just doing her job as a prosecutor in the past.
And so, and first off, I think that we have to get beyond the whole like she's not black, she's not full black. Look, you got 1% of blood in you. That's black blood. You black. Period.
Yeah. And you know what was funny is that they're talking about, well, she's black, and then she's like, what is it? Asian, South Asian, because her mother's Indian. I'm like, listen, y'all are killing me. Why can't we just say biracial?
Yeah, she's black.
If you have to identify both sides of her, just say she's biracial, even though her father is black. She's black. But if we gotta go there, like I'm listening to the NPR news, and they're like, the first African American woman and the first South Asian, American woman to run for VP. I'm like, what is all of this? Like, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
And then there are also things that I read comments about people that feel like, let's just put it out there. Do we feel like folks who are direct descendants of slaves not capable of getting in the White House? Because we look at Obama, we look at now Kamala, like, can we just get a person who is American, who has African descendants of slaves, ADOS? And I'm not saying that I'm against one way, or it just appears that maybe the only way to get in the White House is if you have to be something other.
So
you be full black.
Well, I think that in order, so when people say, oh, we want the first black president, or the second black president, or the first black vice president, they're looking for someone whose parents was, somebody's nanny down in Mississippi. But first, you have to find some people that are interested in taking on that type of responsibility. I think that's important. But just having someone in color inside of the White House, I think, is extremely important also. Whether they came from a different country, whether they biracial, they are a person of color. They are black. They are brown. Mm-hmm. And so I don't look for, the direct descendant of slaves or whatnot. Black is black to me.
Yeah. But listen,
I'm really looking at.
But we got to touch on this, though, because it seems like we can't. It just seems like, I don't know. We're not getting anybody that's. I don't know. I think you know what I'm saying, but trying to find the words to articulate it. Like, is it like you're only good enough if you are other, or some sort of biracial. And listen, I love everybody. Listen, I got everybody in my family, a little bit of everything in my family. So I don't want it to come across like, I got an issue with because, her parents or whatever, and she identifies with how she wants to identify.
Well, I think like Vincent just said in the comments, it's her approach and tone usage. And he's saying in regards to his comments, beige color that's safe and neutralizing. I think that people have generally been disappointed that when they have a person of color or somebody that's just black or brown or whatnot, that the person is not speaking to a specific agenda towards black, just all black and all brown people. No, we don't want Issa Rae.
Listen, I will be dope. Listen,
she can stay in her coffee shop over in Inglewood.
What?
She can stay in the coffee shop. Look, y'all said, look, y'all.
You know what we hear.
Look, y'all didn't want politicians. Y'all got Trump. Now y'all saying y'all want a politician, and everybody mad. So now you're talking about
we didn't want politicians. We got motherfuckers like Kanye West. Like, exactly, crickets.
Right.
What are we supposed to do with that?
Yeah.
Why play with our time? Like, see, this is what I'm saying. Is he serious? Like, I can't take him serious. I could never take him serious.
Kanye is serious.
This is the problem. I feel like there's a real challenge and disconnect sometimes with what we think the commander-in-chief can and should be able to do. The real question is, what do we expect?
So I'm expecting that once the Democratic ticket wins, Kamala's going to have Air Force 2 and Marine 2. She going to make sure she has everything equal to the president.
Listen, we're going to play a video, and it's a short video, but we're going to talk about what our expectations are for her next. So stay by.
The case against Donald Trump and Mike Pence is open and shut. We're screaming Trump, like everything else he inherited, he ran it straight into the ground. And the people are who Joe and I will fight for every day in the White House. Break the silence, break the silence, screaming words of hope. The case against Donald Trump and Mike Pence is open and shut. We're screaming Trump, like everything else he inherited, he ran it straight into the ground. And the people are who Joe and I will fight for every day in the White House. Break the silence, break the silence, screaming words of hope.
All right, we won't be silent. So she's saying she's going to fight. Her and Joe are going to fight for us. So what are our expectations? If you're in the comments, what do you expect from her? What do we need from her? Let's be very clear and intentional with the things that we need in the next administration. What are some of the things you could look at right now and say, you know what, this needs improvement. We need to work on this. I'm expecting this. This would make my life a lot easier. This will help me and my family. What are some of the things that we expect from her as a politician and her now being the VP nominee? And Sky, let me know when you're ready. I'll add you back in. But Yeah, what are some of the things that we need from her? It says Trump being elected set the tone from here on out. He brought the circus to town, hence Kanye and other clown thinking they could do the job of running the free world. But is it really free? Listen, don't get me started. I ain't had enough to drink. Listen, is it really free? This right here, this is the comment for the night. I want Issa Rae. Issa Rae for VP. I love it. And if she could run it like Insecure, ooh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. But yeah, I feel like with Kamala, I think she'll do good. I don't deny her passion. I don't deny her passion. I don't deny that she's going to do what she needs to do. I just want her, oh, freezing quotations. I just want her to do what is needed, not on an agenda. She needs to take care of what is needed. And I feel like the country needs her support on various issues. We need her to really go in there and help undo the things that the Trump administration has already done. You know, all these executive orders, you know, he's signing these things up like he's signing a lease or something. You know, every other day it's an executive order for this, an executive order for that. And what we've really witnessed him do in his administration these past 4 years is simply try to undo everything the Obama administration has done. So, you know, I just feel like if she can come in here and not go power crazy and trying to undermine Joe Biden, I really feel like this could really work. Again, my prediction, I don't see Joe Biden doing a second term. You know, God willing, if he's able to be with us and into his second term, you know, I think he'll be 82 once his first term is up, going into the second term. So, yeah, I think we lost Sky. But you know what? Let's open it up to some questions, comments. If anybody wants to join the panel, I had more people who were supposed to join today, but you know, I guess schedules, you know, things conflict. So I felt like this would have been a really great. I invited at least 4 or 5 people, but you know, sometimes I guess politics can get tricky, and I know schedules get out of whack. So, what you guys thinking? How y'all feeling about Kamala? How y'all feeling about her? Let's get in these comments. I mean, listen, it's not limited, and I don't want to be accused of ageism or anything, but I don't know. You know, Bernie was older too. Bernie Sanders was older. If we being honest, they all are up in age. Okay, let's be clear. Joe Biden will be 78 in November, and that's where we're at with it. He'll be 82 at the end of his term, going into the second term, if he decides to run again. Now, what I would like going into the second term is if another person joined if the Democratic Party chose Andrew Cuomo, if he decided to run, Governor Andrew Cuomo of New York. That's who we need in 2024. He said, oh crap, I didn't know, 78. Yeah, well, he's 77 now. He'll be 78 in November, sometime either top or middle of November. So yeah, he's getting up there. And you know, we can see the signs. I mean, there are times where he's talking. I mean, I'm glad he's using a teleprompter now, but there are times when he's talking and the conversation just decides to fade or shift. And it's like, I think this is where he gets hammered sometimes with his comments, and where it gets a little, the gray area happens where it's like, well, this is what I meant to say, and this is not how I wanted you to take it. So, hold on, I think we got Sky back.
Sorry.
Hey.
Hey, sorry.
You good to go?
So Yeah, I got some crazy dogs. I literally dogs.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
said, "I know you're not mature enough for this." What?
Who?
I mean, that's no, because I was talking about Biden's age, and I was like, listen, I'm not to take it, so I'm not trying to stop that. Hey,
Sorry.
hey,
Hey, sorry.
hey, good to go.
Okay.
Is that you?
hmm I cut it off.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
trying to say comments in real time. That's why I keep both windows open.
Oh, he
But
said, I'm not mature enough for this. Oh, yeah, he's so silly.
okay. So where were we at?
Well, we were talking about what we expect. I played the video, and she said, Joe and I got your back.
And
So
so,
now we're shifting it to what do we expect from her? What do we need from her?
well, first I need the whole prosecutor demeanor to kind of wear off. I would like to see that we have someone that has been um, on maybe the wrong side of things, depending on who you're talking to, kind of rectify their past. And and I'm willing to give that chance. Go ahead and do right by the things that you did wrong by. Now that you're in a position to do such, I want to see you pay special attention to people that apply for clemency and pardons from the criminal justice system. I want you to really weigh out those cases, and not only weigh them out as an attorney, but weigh them out not as a prosecutor, but as a public defender. Weigh them out as somebody's grandmother, somebody's mother. Have some compassion there, and really evaluate those applications that come before you. Two, not try to upstage your president, realizing that the only reason a lot of the people that are voting for you to be VP is because we want Biden and not you. But you come with the package. You have to realize that. And I want her to realize that. Like, we don't like you. Like, I crossed your name out on my ballot. I voted for Biden. So, how do you go ahead and try to win me over to vote to reelect you and Biden, instead of just Biden?
Well, it's a package deal. And so I just don't want her to get to the point where she is undermining him. Because I feel like the moment she gets a minute to just kind of slide the knife in slowly,
right,
she's going to dig in, and she's going to be like, this is exactly what I was talking about when we were on the campaign trails. I mean, because she really roasted his ass with those allegations, with those women, and then all the bills that he supported. And if truth be told, I really haven't forgiven Biden for how he treated Anita Hill. Okay, that whole Clarence Thomas thing, like, I just don't. That said a lot to me. I mean, Anita Hill. I mean, and we're not going to relive the past, but I just have a thing in my mind when people who are coming to let you know that they've been harassed or sexually harassed in that instance, and I don't know, he just did her dirty. I don't know. I don't know.
And so a lot of people, they were just like, oh, you got to think about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She's probably going to not make it to another 4 years. And I'm like, yeah, I get that.
But we need her to hold on until we can get Trump out.
She's been holding on for the last 10 years.
She is. I mean, she is in and out the hospital. She's like, I'm not retiring.
She said, I can't. She can't.
She knows what's at stake. And you know what? That says a lot. She's like a real warrior.
I told my younger brother, I said, he said, because she probably won't hold on for another 4 years. I said, you're right. She is walking on dental floss or razor blade shoes right now. And she's about to go any second.
She knows that if it happens, that Trump is definitely gunning for that spot to put someone in there that's just going to be completely left.
But then the other thing is, do we actually think this ticket can win? Can they beat Trump? And to me, if you don't hate the player, hate the game. But look what Trump is doing. He's not giving the post office new funding. He's all, y'all want to do mail-in elections? Okay, we're not gonna fund that part. Matter of fact, we gonna pull up mailboxes.
Right.
You know, let me go ahead and issue everybody another $1,200 check, and then send a little letter in it and say this is from Donald Trump. That's a mail piece right there. And then he went ahead and he was all right. You know, the Democrats want to give 600, the Republicans want to give 2. Y'all can't come to a deal. Fuck it, I'm gonna give 400. It's like, I mean, you gotta tell me, what did she do wrong? Because it seems like she just did her. Okay, it's not that she did anything wrong. She did her job as a prosecutor.
You
and
know,
so the question is,
let's correct this. She didn't do enough.
yeah. And so no. I'm gonna say she did nothing wrong as a prosecutor. But do we want a prosecutor in office like that to prosecute the whole United States? It's a mindset that comes with that. And that's what I'm trying to get at. It's not that she did something wrong. It's that she stepped into the role of a prosecutor, and prosecutors are cops. Every time a cop pulls you over for a traffic stop, they are questioning you just like a prosecutor or questioning you in court. And do you like that feeling? Because this is what we're getting in a VP.
And I will go the length and say I feel like she didn't do enough. You say she didn't do anything wrong. I'm saying she didn't do enough. I felt like she really had a platform there to be able to really try to work on prison reform. And she did not. She did not. And I feel like it says a lot. And I don't want to go back because we've been talking about this, you know, on and on. But again, it says a lot about a person who is presented with clear, concrete evidence and understands fully what the circumstances are and still turns a blind eye to it. I don't know what that's like.
And you said that she did not push her prison reform. Not only did she not push her prison reform, she fought against it, which is important.
Well, that's because I don't know if there's any validity to this, but they say it's because she supported prison labor. So why would she go for prison reform when she's getting the cheapest labor out of half the inmates in the largest prisons in California?
I mean, the same reason Donald Trump felt the need to give her a campaign contribution when she ran for attorney general. And they're saying, well, she donated it to a nonprofit. You have no proof. But we do have proof that she accepted contributions from them.
Right. That's what I'm saying. All these politicians, man, we're never going to, you know what, that's the problem. I need to stop looking at these people as politicians and look at them. This is just a business.
Look, and so it's not that you need to stop looking at them as politicians. We have to stop holding them to a certain standard, right? To me, she may be vice president, she may be a senator, she may have been a DA, she may have been an attorney general, but in my eyes, she's a cop, period. She's a cop. Simple as that. And she will always be a cop. I posted some in likes of this on my page.
What are you saying without saying that she is all in efforts of supporting the blue?
So this I kind of explained it on my page earlier this week, where I said that, you know, we all have those friends that are in the law enforcement community that are either cops, you know, prosecuting attorneys, family members or friends or whatever. And you have an interaction with them and a way they respond, it hits you back like, damn, this person is a cop before they're my friend or family member. And you let that sink in.
So does that, well, yeah. But see, do you not think that she's able to turn it off?
No, she can't.
Because I can't imagine being a lawyer coming home or AD, you know, assistant district attorney coming home, and it's like, you know,
they're trying to make it seem like she can turn it off by talking about, oh, they call her Mamala. No. No. I'm not buying. I'm not buying.
They bringing up, you know, Howard and, you know, her AKA line.
And I'm just like, no.
You know, they're trying to humanize her, and it's so funny because when I look at her in these interviews and stuff, I'm not seeing.
Yeah,
I'm
and
not
then
seeing Kamala. I'm not seeing when I see Michelle Obama, I see a person
yes,
who is heartfelt, and even Obama, like
right.
I feel like he can't even get away from his facial expression sometimes.
So I always and the Kamala Harris laugh. Who mama laughs like that? Come on now.
What is she, a seal?
But it's just like, come on, like we have to figure out something different.
Yeah, we definitely gotta. This is it. So I think my takeaway is that I'm not trashing this woman. I will never trash this woman because I feel like that's been a big thing in the Black community too. Like people feel like, well, it's because she's a Black woman.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with that.
We start finding ways within our community to divide even more. And I hate that about us sometimes. Like, it's not because she's a Black woman. It's because, again, as an individual,
Her record.
there are things that she just did not do or she could have done. And I get, let's not compare her to Trump. I'm not advocating for Trump. I don't care for Trump at all. I will never vote for Trump. He's a despicable human being. But I just want her to come in and do her job and let that be that. Do your job, no more, no less.
Right.
And I feel like that's going to be a challenge for her because VP is too much of the backseat for her. Now, I get that this is the thing. Is she qualified? We talked about her only being in the Senate for 3 years. Is she qualified? Does that matter?
Qualifications are considered based on what is the need for that time. And so, when Barack Obama was elected, was he qualified based on experience? No. Was he qualified in terms of being somebody that we thought can bring everybody together? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody like myself, I spent the last 15 years in the labor movement, where we're taught to organize communities and bring people together and try to figure out what the common issues are and move people to, win. And so Barack Obama was good at that. If you notice the speeches that he gave and when he didn't place ownership on not one person. He placed it on everybody. How do we all come together and do this? There's more power in numbers, these type of conversations.
But I think that people expected him to only be the president for black
people.
Yes.
Yeah. And you can't do that.
You can't.
Because in actuality, like as someone that has run for office and won office and, still work in elections and politics like that, we don't target black people to vote like that. Like, say, for instance, if you are like, maybe you're 55 and older, yes, we're going to target you. But if you're like 18 to 35, like if I have some extra money, yeah, I'm going to try to get your vote. But at the same time, I don't want to waste my money because like on election day when the Lakers are playing and we call you to say, hey, did you remember to vote? And you're talking about, well, I'm going to wait to halftime and then the polls close. It's like, all right, I didn't waste money sending you a mail piece, wasted money trying to, talk to you, and you didn't already forgot, even though you didn't had 10 days to vote before election day, you didn't forgot.
So is the focus shift then on the older, I guess, well, the different demographics you're going after? Because if you're not going after the young, then I would imagine that you're trying to target older folks who can then impact and influence the young.
So let me tell you, because you probably don't know, the way that you target voters, you want to target high propensity voters. And so when you go and you decide who you want to target to vote for you, well, they'll say, okay, I'm going to use Los Angeles, for example. Los Angeles has over, probably like, 2 million voters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I would tell my data guy, like, look, I want to send a piece of mail to where I want to call or have my people call anyone that has voted 3 times in the last 5 elections. Because if you voted 3 times, that tells me like it's a high probability that you're going to vote. You know, versus somebody that is 35 years old and they voted once since they was 18. It's like, I'm not going to waste my time with you.
Right.
You know, or do we expect much out of it? So, you know, these are things that these elected officials look at when it comes time and they say, oh, you know, we vetted this, or, you know, this is who we're targeting. And then, you know, you sit back like, damn, well, I ain't never got no information about this person because you probably don't vote. They know you don't vote. That's why they're not sending you information, because it's a waste of money and a waste of time.
Like every doctor can't save every patient. Did he not do his job? Yeah, he did. He did. Again, we need to get back to expectations. That's why I said, what do we expect out of Kamala? We wasn't checking for her before. Like, what is it we want?
This is what I feel like is gonna happen. Kamala go have a baby while she's vice president, and she'll run out all the way to the presidential.
Wait, how old is she? Wait a minute, where my phone at?
She'll be the first United States executive to give birth while in office, and she'll use that as a campaign tactic to win over mothers when she runs for president. Boom.
What type of scandal is that?
I'm just saying.
She gonna have a baby. That's gonna be interesting. That would be it. You know what? Not today. Kamala is 55 years old, so unless she is unless it's in vitro, I don't even know if she's still. Okay.
Because right now the narrative is they're trying to make that narrative talking about she cooks Sunday dinners. She knows she'll not be at home on Sunday. She live in Beverly Hills. She probably got a maid and a cook.
Yeah.
You know, she ain't cook. She, in her acceptance speech, she made it seem like she at the Black family reunion at her house every Sunday. She cooking turkey,
turkey chop, mac and cheese, yams.
Yeah.
Listen.
Then she said that they said that the picture gave a vision. She said that Cory Booker called her because he was cooking lemons. Is that what it's called? What? Lemon beans or
lima beans?
No, not lima beans. Lemon.
I don't know what that is.
Small little bean.
I'm about to ask Siri. What? Okay.
But anyway, when she said that, I said, I ain't never had that shit. Like, what the fuck is that?
Look, that picture behind Sky gave him a vision.
This one? You know what that is, right?
No, who is it?
This is Mansa Musa.
Okay.
And so I saw this and I ordered it. It came from South Carolina.
Oh, he said lentil.
Lentil.
Okay.
Who the fuck eats that shit? I've never had that shit.
A lot of people do. Don't be shaming people into lentil.
Okay, so my question is, when you go for Thanksgiving dinner, is that sitting on the table? No. So
listen,
you can't.
They add grapes. What was it? I saw. What was it?
Raisins on the
potato salad. And raisins. I'm like, what?
And so, but when they said that, when she said that, you know, I still cook Sunday dinner. Cory Booker called me for my lentil recipe, and I was like, who the fuck eats that shit? Like, I don't eat that shit. Like, when I go to Sunday dinner, we got ham hocks on the table. We got collard greens.
Right.
Got some red snapper. What the fuck is lentil?
Listen, and Cory Booker, like, let's not get started. Like, he just seems so uncomfortable the whole presidential campaign. Like the debates, like
that Caucasian and beige people eat lentil.
What do you say?
Right.
Yeah.
You're right.
I cannot. I cannot.
And so when she said that, I was just like, that's just like my homeboy I went to high school with. You know, he invited me over for Thanksgiving dinner. And I was like, so what is your mom cooking, like turkey? He was like, no, she got some Cornish hens. And I was like, Cornish hens? No turkey? Oh no, she just went to Vines and bought the Cornish hen already cooked for Thanksgiving. I said, no, I'm good.
That was already made. That's like, so did they cook it under that lamp? Is this 7-Eleven?
So look, I was just, and I said, "What?" I said, "What kind of greens does she cook?" Oh, she cooked spinach. Spinach. She ain't got no greens with the ham hock in it or none of that. Like it's spinach.
I need a collard green.
She got a potato salad and like what kind of pie did she make? Oh, pumpkin pie. Pumpkin pie.
You know what? Listen, people. I don't even have that discussion no more about pie. People swear by pumpkin, pecan, or pecan, whatever you want to. Listen, y'all too fancy for me. Give me a good sweet potato, and I'm good.
Right.
I'll even take apple.
Yeah. Look, if you invite me to your house and you talking about your mom made a homemade lemon meringue pie, I'm not coming because I already know what dinner gonna look like.
Oh.
Thanksgiving dinner gonna look like Boston Market. I'm good.
Oh my god! They be like, "You want the 3-piece dark or
right?
You want the Parmesan half?"
Right.
Parmesan.
They're the ones that got the potato salad with the raisins inside of it.
All blasphemy. Vince, you need to get up on here. Like, listen.
That's just like my
I'm requesting
my younger cousins. They're at the stage where they're like partying and stuff right now. So they post this thing up on Snapchat. They getting drunk, right? Guess what they taking to the head?
What?
White Claw. I said, what the hell?
What is that? Is that like Mad Dog or something?
It's like fucking Mike's Hard Lemonade. I'm like, I said, if y'all don't
Mike's Hard Lemonade. I think I've had maybe one of those. That ain't even. I don't know. Y'all be out here playing. Y'all play too much.
But real shit, we all got to get out to the polls this week. Well, I mean, not this week, but this year, and vote for this ticket, whether we like them or not.
Yeah, I feel like.
But this is another thing. This is another, and I forgot to mention this earlier. And so I don't know. I'm trying to figure out the name of the book. I'm trying to remember it. But there was a Secret Service agent that wrote a book. He was telling all the craziness that goes on behind the scenes.
Hold on a second. Vince, check your messages. I sent you the link. You need to get up on here. You got so much mouth. Get up on here. Go ahead. What did you say, a Secret Service agent?
That wrote a book, and it was talking about like all the things that go on behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And he retired after Barack Obama's first year and wrote this book. And he talked about how like Barack Obama's like genuinely like a nice guy, like never had any issues. They said Michelle Obama was hell on wheels, which I can totally see and understand.
But in what way? Like a perfectionist or just rude or nasty? Like what?
So I'm gonna put it in context for you.
Yes, because I was like, you can't
put it in context. Let me finish, and I'm gonna go back and put it all in context for you.
Okay.
They talked about Joe Biden, and they said the whole time that they were afraid that Joe Biden was gonna have this huge scandal because he's a hippie. And he like does hippie shit like skinny dipping in the pool and So I was just like I was intrigued by it. So I'm like, okay. They were talking about like, they was afraid that, somebody was gonna file a lawsuit because as Secret Service agents, like you watch them do all this.
Right.
And whether you're female or male, you're there. And so going back to Sam when they was Michelle Obama was hell on wheels. Okay, so even in 2020, when you look at the makeup of the legislative body,
we got Vince on.
Hey, Vince.
Hello. I wasn't trying not to come on tonight, Kyle. I gotta be quiet.
Why? Why do you have to be quiet?
My child is in the bed.
Oh,
and oh my gosh, I was just watching The Shy with Mark. That's my partner. Oh my gosh, I'm so angry. They shot.
No.
Yeah, I almost did it. I'm sorry.
No spoilers.
No spoiler.
I don't even listen. I'm not even caught up to this season, but my homegirl was telling me about it. I'm like, listen, no spoilers.
It's just making me. Oh, just take your blood pressure medicine before you watch it.
Well, listen, that same energy, I want you to take that blood pressure medication with you to the polls. Okay?
Absolutely, I
Because
always
see, this is
exercise
what's
my
going
right
to take
to
everybody
vote.
out.
If you don't vote, you don't count. You go like
So
this if you ain't voting out here.
right, and so even in 20, I was trying to put in context to what was written in the book by a Secret Service agent when it was like Barack Obama was like genuinely like a nice guy. Michelle Obama was hell on wheels. Joe Biden was a hippie, and they was afraid that they were going to get hit with all these lawsuits because of the stuff that he does behind the scenes, like skinny dipping in the pool, smoking weed.
I call that a weekend. Yeah, I mean,
So,
geez,
so
everyone gets a day off. You get a
I,
day
I,
off working at McDonald's. Damn,
I
can you
was going
celebrate?
to, I was going to put in the context when they said, that Michelle Obama was hell on wheels, and so to understand that, you have to understand how the makeup of Congress looks and what happens behind the closed doors there.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the congressional members that are female, their offices are dramatically smaller than their male counterparts. They also are not invited to the same events and fundraisers as their male counterparts.
I've heard
So
things like that. Yeah.
and so they developed uh, this persona where people may say, "Oh, they're bitches or they're hell on wheels because
Mm-hmm.
they're demanding the same respect as their male counterparts."
Yep.
And
Yep.
so when they said that, "Oh, Michelle Obama was hell on wheels," I was like, "Shit, she was looking out for a man." Like, no, y'all not gonna fuck him over without,
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
As most black women
Yeah,
have
right.
their men's and their brothers' backs. Absolutely. That's all she was doing. She said,
Yeah,
"Oh no, not this one. He is the
right.
president.
Not on my watch.
He will be there. This
Mhm.
y'all go include him. He's in the boys club just
But you
because
remember,
he's not a Caucasian. But this is my man, the president.
right?
Respect it. Put some respect on his motherfucking name. That's
And
all she
so,
did.
and in saying that, also
If that's hell on wheels and too bad.
remember, she Barack Obama said that she told him if he did not stop smoking cigarettes, that she was not going to be by his side when she ran for president. He ain't smoked a cigarette.
Oh wow.
Again, what black
Remember, he
women
was.
do, they some we can't categorize all.
Let me put
What some black women do,
that up.
they threaten us to better ourselves.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
Now
absolutely.
so,
what if she was like, listen, you keep it up and you're not getting none of this WAP?
well, I don't think he was getting it like that anyway. But let me take this feed
When
off.
you ready to talk
What?
about that mess, you hear me, Kyle Washington? When you ready to talk about that fucking mess,
Ah.
woo,
Listen,
set back central.
I'm all
But once I
about
got past the initial shock, I was like, okay.
I'm
But
all
this
for women
isn't the
empowerment.
exact. Is that women's empowerment, or is that just shaking your ass being a dirty
They do
little
what they
girl?
want to do. I mean, men do it all the time. This misogynistic life we
I
live.
ain't never seen them. Listen,
You know,
I
and
never seen men.
they're
These male performers, okay, fine. You had, for example, our generation. We had an LL Cool J come out with a shirt off in every damn performance that he could. Fine, that's a
no.
shirt.
We
It
talk
showed a
about
little
lyrics.
man chest,
We
but
talk
these
about
girls is
lyrics.
in the videos with the whole kitty cat print and the dental floss that Scott was talking about. Somebody walking with razor shoes. That shit's funny. I'm taking that one out of somebody. But they walk around here with in the video with the floss up their ass. This is now. Do we honor that kind of image more than the prosecutor, VP hopeful?
Well, this is my
Why?
concern. Since
WAP got 15.6 billion views
Yes, we did.
somewhere.
We did have Two Live Crew,
Are we
which was
gonna? Oh
all about
yeah,
objectifying women. So
so
let's be
yeah.
clear: when women do it, it's in my opinion, it's okay.
When they do it
It's
to themselves, you
especially
mean?
when they're an artist. Yes, when they're an artist and they are portraying the image they want to portray in their music videos and then their
Okay.
lyrics, then it's fine.
Okay.
so my question is, so no, I'm not gonna
But
say
it's
my
still being put on
what
display for the world to see whether they
what
want to
Well,
see it or not.
they never said they were role models. Let's be clear.
They don't have to be role models, but you're a public figure. There's role
doesn't
models and
matter.
there's public figures. if you're a public figure, you will be seen. You have to. There's a way to conduct yourself. I miss the oh, what's the word?
Oh, it's a double standard.
Is no, it I
So
miss the
I thought that
celebrity.
was
I
one of
miss the distinguishing thing of celebrity,
so
where
my question,
everyone and they mothers and sisters couldn't just hop on something and be like, "Yeah, I'm that bitch. I'm a star." I miss that.
my question is, should we be concerned that this Secret Service agent wrote this stuff about Joe Biden, and knowing what we have read and is more than likely true, is that going to be an issue for Kamala Harris once she's in office? Or is she going to use that as ammunition to degrade him and show that
Oh, about the girls? About
Ah.
the skinny dipping, the smoking weed, just the whole hippie mentality.
I
The
feel like
party,
that to me, that's a moral thing. Like that's not a
You just
professional.
don't trust this woman, Sky. Do you?
I know.
You don't trust her.
That's a moral thing. That's not a professional thing. I mean, him skinny dipping. I mean, if Obama did it, would it? It's still fine. I mean, as long as
And
they.
so, and let me talk to you about the trust. So when I worked in the legislature, um, we were looking to hire another staff member in the office, and we interviewed a few folks, and the member wanted to go with uh, this young lady, and she's my friend to this day. I'm not going to say her name, but she's still my friend.
Yeah, no name dropping.
Mhm.
And he said, "Well, what did you think about this one?" I said, "Don't hire her." And he said, "Well, why not?" I said, "Because you have to realize you have an office full of males. We're not all fraternity brothers, but we're all part of Black Greek organization. You got the Q coming in the morning, barking and shit, but it's our camaraderie."
Mm-hmm.
But when she interviewed, she talked about her mom being a hospital administrator, the divorce with her parents, and how strong her mom was going through that. And I respect it. I said, do not hire her in the office because it's going to be a problem.
But what
And
does that mean? What are you saying
because,
without saying?
because sure enough, after 7 months, we were all under investigation for sexual harassment because she said that the office was a horny frat house and she felt disrespected when people said she looks good at the copy machine, and she left work crying. And we were just like, and they asked me, and I was like, I didn't think anything of it, but because in light of what's going on with the whole
Me
true
too.
movement and things like this, is this a potential liability?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
you say don't. Okay, so we gotta address this. So
So it
you can't.
wasn't a discriminating decision. It was
No,
a decision where you felt you were looking out for her and
yeah,
avoiding a future
right,
problem.
right.
Okay, and that
Um,
was big. That was biggie. Like,
But
and
uh,
and let me tell you, she was well qualified. But
hmm
at the same time, I told him, if you're going to hire her, you need to hire more than one female in the office because she needs someone that she can talk to on that level versus coming into the office and having all this testosterone thrown around.
we need Munchie on here. Munchie, you wanna jump on?
is
We
that
need.
Miss Joyce?
Yes,
I
that's
did see what she said earlier, and now she's face palming.
yeah.
Like,
Because you're talking about
oh,
not hiring somebody because yeah,
to
Potential
no.
avoid the
liability.
liabilities. Yeah, yeah,
Potential
the
But,
liability.
liabilities.
but okay, listen. Once a person is offended or feels like they've been offended, I mean, there really is no apology for that. We just
So,
need to correct the
Right.
behavior. So
so,
because you don't get to tell someone how they should feel.
so,
So real quick, Munchie, I sent you the link. Jump up on.
and
You ready?
so, and so, no, these are not my attorney brothers at all. And so, and
I
more
protecting the
recently,
bros. She said.
I was brought into an office to help clear up all this misogynistic shit that was going on and sexual harassment lawsuits flying out the office between the
Mm-hmm.
female and the male. So they brought me in.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, "Look, we know you hate everybody the same, and you figure out what the fuck is going on and fix it." So I said, "All right."
Mm-hmm.
And so when I came in, I brought my personal friend, um, and all it took was she came to me. She said, "Look, she said the brokers they call me everything but my name. They call me Lisa. They call me Teresa. They call me
Oh wait, who is this?
my friend that I brought into the office with, female." And so she was like, "I said, well, look, until you address it, they're going to continue doing it
It's
because
gonna
they feel
keep.
like they have permission to do it." They did it again, and I was in the office. Let me tell you, when she read them the whole sexual harassment state policy, and they
Mm.
started calling her by his name every since. And I was just like, yeah, I said, that's the way you have to do this shit.
I don't know. I feel like I'm a little conflicted with the not hiring. You had me until you said I hired, but I get it. What to each his own.
And so
But,
let me tell you why.
I
Because
get it.
when
But
you work when you work for an elected official, your job as staff is always to protect your member from future things or
Yep.
things that arise.
mhm.
Um,
Yep.
and the
So
member,
As
let's
I
say
said earlier, I did it for a short period, and I don't like it.
yeah,
so there's
um,
so therefore you see something being problematic.
it's my job to take care of it.
Okay, well, so yeah, let's change the context to say that
And
yeah,
and
somewhat
and even now,
problematic.
just like I told you, I was brought into an office more recently to fix the problem.
Oh wow! Oh, here
And
we go. Here we
Bro,
go.
Olivia Pope.
I'm about to bring in my girl.
He
Microphone.
was Bro Olivia.
Hey guys.
Hey,
Hey fellas.
what's going on? So what you got to say? We was talking about WAP objectifying. What you got?
Vincent and left.
I
Okay.
think that was just a case of protecting your bros. Like that's not cool.
Well,
That's
let
not
me.
cool.
So let me
Instead
say,
of
I wasn't.
addressing it,
And
addressing the behavior is,
so so
let me just protect y'all.
well, I didn't know there was going to be an issue when he was asking to hire this particular girl, which is
Why my
a
hair
very good
was
friend of mine.
sideways?
Just the things that were coming out in the interview, I
Mhm.
felt like, and like I told him, I said, if you're going to hire her, you need to hire another female in the office also, because right now you have an office full of men. We're not frat brothers, but we're all black Greeks in one office. So we come
What?
in
What?
and we come in and I may be like, oh, when my coworker be, oh, you coming in just like a noob or whatever. And I'm like, man, you up there fucking barking and shit with your thing hanging out, and this is because we have that camaraderie in the office.
Right.
Because
All right.
and so when you throw a female in the office that is not a Greek or she comes from a family where she talks about how strong they have been as females in their family, which is great.
Mhm.
She needs to have somebody that she can gravitate to in the office.
Mm.
That was my whole point. So if you're gonna hire her, you need to hire another female also, because right now you have 5 men against
Mhm.
one little tiny girl.
All right. So what you got to say, Munchie? What you got?
I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. That just seems a little off to me.
Yeah, don't it seem a little off?
It seemed a little off instead of saying like, all right, y'all know we can't do this in front of such and such. She's well qualified for this position, but we can't be our
But look,
friend.
so in saying that, we stopped all of it.
Right.
But then when we got hit with the
She didn't
office,
get the job.
okay, look, no, she got the job.
Okay.
But 7 months later, the office got hit with a sexual harassment lawsuit.
But y'all
And
knew
but the
that
stuff
y'all
that
should have
came,
toned down.
but the stuff that came up in the interviews,
Why are you looking like
my eyes was wide open, like, oh my god, like what
you
happened?
said y'all knew you could have basically too mad because you
Y'all knew
knew.
y'all should have toned it
So
down.
I was not the person under investigation.
Right.
They were just asking me if I had witnessed certain things, and I was just like, well, say for instance, you work in the office with us, and you go to the copy machine, which is by my desk,
Right.
and you make a copy, and I go, oh, Jay, you looking nice this morning.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
look nice enough for me to take out to dinner.
See, uncomfortable. Nope.
Yeah.
Like
Like what? Why would you?
I didn't think anything of that. Like
it's just a case. It's just a case of it's a time and place for everything, and
Right.
you just can't do that in the office. Like I had to watch myself, and that's crazy because as a woman, I had to watch myself with certain things, and when IT department walked in our office, and we saying little stuff like, oh, okay, here come the guys. We turn it down, not like. Hey, you looking nice in your slacks today.
But and so to say that
Right.
when I tell you that
Or you be
when
like, next time bring something.
Yeah,
when you
right, right. I was going to say
when you
Chrysanthemum first, but I had to say.
when you work for an elected official, you are a salary employee, and
Mm-hmm.
so you have
They
12-hour
own
days.
you.
You working on a weekend, and so
Mm-hmm.
your coworkers are like family, and so you
Well,
may
Mm-hmm.
get stuff that's off the cuff. I didn't call my member a fat ass. Like fuck you,
yeah,
kiss my ass. He didn't told me
and we
stuff.
do all the time. My office is the same way. Like we're close and we're friends
Yeah,
outside of work,
yeah. And so
and we gotta watch it. It's just
I didn't
change behavior. That's
Right. There's a
all.
time and place for everything.
I
Yeah.
didn't have members that tell me they hate me and they hate my mama for having me, and it's just like but it comes with territory.
It's a lot of angry people. It's a lot of angry people working in that field. It's a lot of angry
Mm-hmm.
people, and
I
it's like no one told you to get in that, and
Right.
it's a lot. I think it became a lot for them once they took these seats, and it's like, oh shit, boom. Like what did I do? What did I step in?
So
And
what
it seemed like a good thing, but it's like no,
And
it,
so
it
the
it
conclusion
really
was
wasn't the
she described our office as being a horny
fit
frat house.
for most of them. It's not the fit.
what do we expect from Kamala Harris and Joe Biden?
Not to be like the
What,
coworkers we hired in my office.
let's kick it off with
Let some stuff slide. Give it a chance.
what you got for us, Mike?
don't know. See, I don't know too much of her. I don't dig. I'm not a I'm not into politics.
Political guru.
No, I'm not. I think you know when we talk about like who's better or who's worse. I think you're just picking the lesser two evils.
Mm.
With
Hmm.
those situations, like I think that's just basically
So I have a
how
question
it
for you.
works for us.
So if Harris decides that she's going to run against Biden for the nomination again, who would you support, Biden or Harris? I'm not going to say her first name because I just
I don't know. I don't know. And it will probably be her.
Team
And
Mamala.
I'm sad.
You know what? I cannot.
It's
Team
sad to
Mama.
say. Like I would probably just say the black woman.
yeah.
But is it
you
because
know.
she's black?
No,
That is
it
that.
would probably if we're talking, I would probably just be because she's a woman. So even if I think that's where I would go if it was the
See?
next, and
See?
Well, yeah, just being
that's a
honest.
little
I mean,
effed up.
yeah.
That's a little effed up. But I think all of it's effed up. So I
Hmm.
that doesn't.
And Jay,
What
I've shared your opinion. I share your opinion about politics. Like for the longest, it's like you are only picking the lesser of the two evils.
Yeah, I think that's just where it is, and I think that this is safe. As safe
Hmm.
it's safer than what we have. So I think that's it for me.
I
Hmm.
don't
until she wants to ramp up prison labor again.
Yeah,
pretty
that's
soon,
not.
pretty soon, prisoners will be building homes. They'll be the new construction workers. They'll be instead of cleaning up the side of the highway, they'll be the ones mixing cement and building houses.
So wait, Kyle, so you're not for it?
I just listen. I just feel like she needs to work on how she treats the community. I get that she did her job as a prosecutor, but just because you did your job does not mean that you just do your job and there's no more that's needed.
I don't know
Yeah,
why my internet acting trifling.
your job is to lock up
Go
the
ahead.
bad guys, but that doesn't mean that you don't sift through to find out if there's some good guys in there at some point. Because there were good guys that were wrongfully convicted. If she knew that or evidence was presented to her, but she still did nothing. So I don't know. That says a lot.
And she hasn't done anything to try to make it right.
That's like these governors that, I can't imagine being on death row and someone is advocating saying that I am innocent. I'm innocent. I have evidence and proof to show that I am innocent. I have
Mm-hmm.
witnesses, and they still
Mhm.
don't want to overturn your conviction. They don't want to
Yeah.
free you. They don't want to.
Don't want to look at the new evidence being
They don't.
presented on your
Right.
behalf.
That's a tough.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, you have to live with yourself after that.
And so that's what
Well,
that's your
most of them, I
issue
guess,
with
living just fine.
her. Just fine.
I feel like I want to see her as a human being instead of a puppet or a robot for
Yeah.
political stances.
Or
I
a
want,
cop.
huh?
Or a cop.
Or shut up.
Sky quote.
Look,
The cop.
I don't care what anybody says.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you black, whether you're a black cop, white cop, Asian cop, black and brown people
Mhm.
hate cops. Period. They don't care what ethnicity you are.
Oh
They
wait,
will always see
let
you
me
as a
put
cop.
let me put my disclaimer up. And see, I don't want nobody flagging me or reporting me talking about he said fuck Blue Lives Matter. I don't want
No,
none
I'm not
Uh-uh.
saying that.
of that.
But see, let me tell you, I have a few friends that are cop, and I call on them, and I've been checking on them since all this George Floyd stuff has been going on, and see how they've been, holding up mental wise, because these are my friends and these are my family members,
Right.
and some of them are not black, some are Asian, some are white. But I had one conversation, and when I got off the phone, I sat back and I was like, "Fuck!" I said, "This motherfucker's a cop."
Okay,
And,
but what did that have to do? I mean, did that?
and but what it had to do with was one day they're going to be protesting this motherfucker just by the conversation we were having.
Mm-hmm.
He's no longer my friend. He's still a friend, but he's a cop first.
But you know what? Listen, this could be a geographical thing. I know that police are everywhere and there's issues with police everywhere in the world, but that could really be a California thing too, because I mean, quiet as kept, like California has never had
They've
a
had history. There,
history with
there's
the
there's
cops. Whether
there's
it's
some deep
Rodney
history
King,
behind
Rodney
behind
King,
the cops. Yep.
O.J. Simpson with Mark Furman, it's just been a lot.
But
Oscar
I
Grant,
have a but
you
look, I
know,
have a friend that I can invite over to my home, and like we can be like playing beer pong or whatever, right? He would literally take his gun off his holster and set it on my kitchen counter. Like that's supposed to say, okay, I'm gonna let you win at every fucking thing we play tonight. And I'm just like, if you don't put that shit in your fucking car, like don't bring that shit in my fucking house. But to me, that's like, damn, he's a fucking cop.
so is that? But is that somebody? Is that them trying to
That's his way of trying to
influence?
bully me. Like that's
Right.
his way of trying to bully me. Like he was
Oh.
bullied in school. You got to remember, the majority of police officers was that kid that got picked on in school.
Yeah.
And when they put on that uniform,
Oh, you put
they
you put
become
your disclaimer back.
when they put when they
I
put
can't
that
with this
uniform
button.
on, when they put that uniform on, they become the bully. And so just by him coming to my house just to hang out, and the fact that you got a gun on you and you have the need to just set it on the counter, like it's supposed to be an intimidation method. When you're
Right.
inside my home, you need to go put that shit in the car.
Mm.
I don't these damn cops. I don't hate cops.
I don't either.
I hate that I have to retrain my kids um with what to expect from cops.
Mm-hmm.
When we were younger,
Like
it's
the
like cops is your
conversation,
friends. I want to be, hey,
right?
cop,
Strange,
police.
stranger danger.
Yeah, kids looked up to being a cop, and they looked up to cops. They see the police officer with the hat on and the cuffs, and they got excited. And now, I can't. I can't give that to my children.
Mhm.
I got a 21-year-old black man, you know, for a son, and a 13-year-old autistic kid, and they've already have issues with not being trained on children with autism. Like, I
Mhm.
just the conversation is different for me now. So
Mhm.
that's why I have a thing about the cops, but it's really not,
From a
all
negative
cops.
perspective,
I just,
right, right,
yeah, it's
right.
just like,
It's the bad
I
one,
can't be
even though,
like, cops are your friends. That's not what they see. That's not
right,
what they hear, but that's what we heard when we were young. Even though all the shit was going on with Rodney King and stuff, we were still hearing that cops were our friends.
right.
That we were safe.
Right.
There
Mhm.
was a lady cop on Broad and Gerard. She squeezed this kid's balls until they burst or something like that. Like, yeah, he had to go to the hospital. Yeah, because she was locking him up, and that's what she did to him. So what was up with her? Like, was she bullied too? Like, I just think that
Like
they
some
just,
people just they take this to their head. I
it
mean,
just goes to their head, yeah, and
it's yeah.
it's just not pretty anymore. It's just that whole cop image. They done do so much. What does that do? You think?
It says, "Do you think more of our people should groom or encourage our children to get into politics and law enforcement to bring about the change?"
Yes. Um,
That's a tough one, Vince.
can I,
No,
Depends on where they're going to be. If they're just going to be just a cop, or are they shooting to be like something,
the sergeant, the
yeah,
captain,
where they can make
yeah,
a change, or would they
right.
just be puppets out there and then,
and so I'm a firm believer that in order to change the system, we have to get involved and we have to mentor those that we think that have potential to make change to get involved also. Um, I was not planning on ever running for office.
mm-hmm,
When I was 18, my gospel choir teacher was the president of the college board in the community,
mm-hmm.
and I worked her campaign after I graduated, and she won city council and hired me. And I was just amazed at the type of impact we were able to have on a local level because I lived in the community and I was
Mm-hmm.
able to see things that were burnt down during the Watch riots get built up with brand new homes and people coming back to the city that had left. And so I developed a passion for it. And so then when I did run, I did get elected, and I got a genuine pleasure out of seeing people become happy about the things that we were able to do as a collective body, as a board. Most of the time when I was on a school board, I talked about a lot of technology. I talked about how when I was in school, teachers had told me that you're going to end up in prison because you don't have any discipline. You're going to end up in handcuffs, and so the teachers hated me because I blasted their ass all the time. I said, "How dare you tell students they will not become anything? Because when you do that, they become your boss, like I did."
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
And you know, and
And I've
so
heard that a lot. I've heard that when I was in school. I've heard that,
yeah,
teachers say that out their mouth a lot. I'm not even sure if it happens, a lot now. But I've heard, back when ADHD wasn't even on the table,
right.
they were just calling you a bad kid, you
Mhm.
know,
mhm.
and just
Before
putting
they
all
had all
kind
these
of stamps on
diagnoses,
you, right? So,
died.
and I've heard, well, yeah, he won't amount to anything, or
Right, right.
I've heard it. I've
And
heard it.
so, I was
I
amazed. Like,
wish I would have heard that.
I graduated from high school in 2001,
My mouth.
Mhm.
we did our 10-year reunion,
Mhm.
and the student government, they was pissed off. You're not supposed to plan this. You wasn't part of student government. I was like, look, I ain't finna go back and forth with y'all. Look, people keep hitting me
Mhm.
up for a class reunion. If y'all would do it, do it. But I'm doing one too. Anyway, so the teachers, a lot of my old teachers came to the reunion.
Mhm.
Mm.
And so, they was just enthused. They was like, so, Scott, so what do you got going on with your life? I was like, oh, vice president of the school board.
Mm.
That's
Welcome to my party.
right.
Right.
And not only that, I ran into a teacher that actually kicked me out of his class before I was on the school board, I was a part of student government at my university I went to. And the same teacher that kicked me out of his classroom my senior year was the same person that interviewed in front of me to become a director at the university.
Mm.
Mm-mm-mm.
And I voted no.
You something petty, aren't you?
Yes, he is, because he's talking about scratching out Kamala's name, but he's still gonna vote for Biden. Like, that's the shit. Like, we
I
gotta
would be
deal
real
with.
petty.
That's the shit we
Wait a
gotta
minute,
deal with.
you get real petty on this.
And like one of the teachers, she was like, "Oh, Sky, you don't have to call me Miss Gonzalez. My name is Stacy." I said, "No, you're Miss Gonzalez."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're too familiar.
yeah, too familiar.
You
No,
know,
I'm not having a
friend
drink
of
with you.
mine.
I know I'm old enough to drink, but no, we're not gonna have drinks.
Mm-hmm.
So listen, are we giving Kamala a chance? We're giving her a chance, right? As a community, is that the consensus? We're giving her a chance to be
I'm
the
just
VP.
gonna vote for it.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to vote for it.
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
we're
vote.
vote for it. All right, can we say it, Team Kamala?
No,
It
I'm
counts.
Team Kamala.
not gonna vote for it.
He's so petty, Cal. Where you get your friends?
Hey, look, if you look at my Facebook page, I never say her name. I just say the Democratic Vice President nominee.
Why are you like
Ain't that
this,
something?
I'm not about to give her no free PR.
Team Kamala?
Mamala. What kind of look? You better be like your name is TT or something. Mamala?
Mamala. They call it. Is that what her grandkids? She got grandkids, right?
No.
Kids.
She has no children.
What?
Huh.
Well, who calls her Mamala?
Her nieces and nephews.
Do they?
Yeah,
Is this a fact?
this is a fact.
Mama?
Mamala.
Oh yeah, she was on an interview. She said nieces and nephews. I don't know why I thought she had grandkids. Oh wow.
Huh.
She has some stepchildren.
And here you go talking about she having a baby. Was it you was talking about she's gonna have a baby?
Oh no, because
Term
recently there's a guy on my
at 55.
there's a guy on my page. He's really cool, and he will really get you thinking. But he's on this thing where he's trying to convince me that Michelle Obama's a transgender, and I'm just like, it ain't no way fucking possible.
Put your thing up, Kyle.
Oh yeah,
That's what he won't do. That's what he won't do on here. Put that thing up.
Look, language
and I keep telling him. He said, "Well, think about it. We didn't hear about her. Like we heard about the kids, but she don't got no pictures while she was pregnant." And I'm just like, look, you digging too deep into this.
Oh
okay, but that he worried about the wrong thing. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
A lady.
If
So
anything, he might
that's
stand on with Wendy Williams.
Wait, what you say?
I said he might have a leg to stand on about not seeing.
Wendy.
Let me be clear: not seeing pregnancy pictures of Wendy. I think she might have shown one picture once with Wendy. Oh, here go his ass.
We not gonna do that. I'm gonna make this the internet work for a second.
Where you at? On the step? You on the stoop?
No, I'm in my living room. But what we not gonna do is talk about our forever first lady.
Forever and ever.
In that manner. No, sir. Hey. You should delete him as a friend and block. Blockity block.
And so right, I hit him up in the inbox. He kept shooting me all these articles. I was just like, I don't care what these fucking articles say. That is a real woman.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Yeah, he just said petty. Like that's just stupid. There's nothing that's screaming.
He was like Barack. He said Barack Obama was gay and Michelle was a tranny. We don't got no proof.
Transsexual. We don't. All right.
I just said, look,
we don't want to.
No.
Keep on clicking that button, Carol.
You're saying all the wrong terms. You know what?
Something else.
Listen, we about to wrap this up. We're
gonna delete this video.
Oh, don't go. But wait a minute. I wanted to say backtrack for Jay. I know she still felt some kind of way about Sky not hiring the young lady, but I want to give you an analogy. Look at it as though if you had big brothers and you know he got his friends and they all stupid and foolish, and they having like a card game or some shit. You like, I know how to play Uno. Y'all gonna let me play Uno, but no, your big brother's gonna be like, these niggas is not gonna be around you. I'm not gonna have them looking at you. I'm not gonna have them acting inappropriate, saying all kinds of stuff around you. Little sis, you're not invited to this game.
Right.
So that's
Right.
how I figured that he avoided a whole hoopla.
Okay.
He did damage control as you're supposed to do in
That's
legislation.
Right.
okay.
And so the outcome of this particular incident in our office,
I
um,
can go for that.
they described it all in a horny frat house because it was 5 male black Greeks and the stuff that we talked about in the office
Mm-hmm.
during hours and after hours. She felt like she wasn't included into the office when we went out to hang out at night.
Mm-hmm.
But that was most. And then when she did come out, she said all we did was pick up girls. But it was just like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
What I
It's like,
say
well,
is,
you go pick up
You
one,
know,
girl.
it really is about trying to spot the signs, like with being. It's tough to navigate with colleagues and coworkers and stuff because you don't want to. I mean, I feel like everybody at work has their little clique. Period. I don't care where you work at, what field you in, what you do. You
Down
got
to the Walmart.
yeah,
Down to the Walmart. You
you
got
got
your
the
clique.
people you rock with, and you got the people you don't bang with, or you don't
Mm-hmm.
trust, or you don't know. And so it's like, all right, you damned if you do, damned if you don't.
so the resolution was then Speaker Bass was like, all right, she's going to come work in my office, but you guys are going to continue to pay her.
All right, listen. So we about to wrap this up. Do we have any final words?
Team Mamala and Biden.
I feel like you've been waiting to say that all fucking night.
She gonna show up next Sunday at
Team
Sunday.
Mamala.
Oh, God. With her Cornish hens and rosemary. Rosemary sprigs and carrots on the bottom.
With spinach.
Sky gonna be like, where the ham hocks, Mamala?
Mamala. Stop playing in my face.
Mamala, please.
Yeah,
But can you imagine that?
Out of control.
That's like it's almost like she used to play spades with Lucy and Ethel and bring watercress sandwiches and stuff. Like,
wait a minute, she probably ain't even playing spades. She's playing like goldfish.
yeah, go.
Goldfish are pretty fat.
You got any final words, Sky?
My final words are everybody needs to get out and vote. We need to make sure this Democratic nominee for president, Joe Biden, and the person he picked wins office.
Your name.
The person he picked. Okay.
You can't even say your name. Oh, God.
We need to do everything we can do to support this nominee and their partner while they're in office.
Okay, is she non-binary? Because they and are you're staying away from he and her? What is going on?
Him and her over there.
What the hell is going on?
Well,
that child that he got running with him. Yeah,
This-
the whole thing.
like someone said, they was like, "Yeah, you real petty." Like I'm petty to the point where I'm not gonna say their name.
Mm-hmm.
You like you like what is this? Breakfast Club petty.
Well, if you want, instead of saying their name, I can show you my court transcripts where their name is on it.
Oh, all right. No. All right. Well, listen.
Right.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Get your ass out and vote, as Mother Jennifer says.
Y'all are out of control. Thank you guys for being a part of the show. It's been a blast. We had a lot of fun. We're going to end the night on this one note.
Good night.
That was good night. Mute your mic, crackhead. All right. Thanks, guys.
The case against Donald Trump and Mike Pence is open and shut.
We're screaming words, screaming words.
Trump, like everything else he inherited, he ran it straight into the ground. And the people are who Joe and I will fight for every day in the White House. Break the silence, break the